Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here. Sorry, I'm a little late this morning. I'm still catching my wings or whatever you want to call them. I was sick this week. After Tuesday night, I started to feel really unwell. My stomach was blah. So I think I picked up some sort of stomach flu or something like that. I do not have COVID. I tested and I am not positive for that. And actually, I don't have any of the respiratory symptoms anyway. It was purely my stomach. It was ugh. Anyway, I had to take a day off on Wednesday and I'm finally back. Yesterday I was back at work, but the interesting thing is I'm still not very hungry. So at least everything has settled down in my system. I just can't eat too much yet. So, but anyway, at least I have the energy to come live with you this morning. And as promised, I am bringing you today the larger slider box. And I know I was warning everyone that the Easter Bunny bundle would sell out, and it did. At the beginning of the week. I sent out a kind of a last ditch effort. I had been using the Easter Bunny bundle for like 2 weeks for my 3D paper crafting, and I just felt like it was going to sell out before its time. But the good news is about the Easter Bunny bundle is that it should be available again in May. And since it's showing as May as coming back, I feel like that bundle is carrying over into the annual catalog, because otherwise I think it would have gone completely unorderable. So very good news for those of you who want to pick it up. You're just going to have to wait. It won't be for this Easter. It will be for next year. So just keep that in mind. It will be back in May. So that left me with an interesting conundrum. How do I do today's tutorial and still provide you with something? Say you're new and you want to do this tutorial. So I'm providing you today with an alternative that you can also use. So I've got this is the original one that I was going to show you with the Easter Bunny bundle, but I also have a beautiful alternative for you, and this one uses the decorative circle and the petal park bundle. I'm also adding the double oval punch in there too. But just think about how wonderful this box will be if you need it for another occasion. Instead of putting Happy Easter, you could put Happy Birthday or Happy Anniversary or whatever you want as that middle greeting. So bunnies, when we tend to think of bunnies, we do tend to think a little bit more of Easter, but this one, flowers, is very versatile, all occasion. So this one, I'm going to show you today as well how to make them. They both use the same measurements, so you can use the tutorial interchangeably for both. So it's kind of like getting two tutorials in one. So I'm going to show you how to make this box and the other box. I should say I'm going to show you how to make both covers for the same box, so that you'll know how to do both in the future. And then if you want to, this was my original one from last week. You can go back into my video tutorials or blog posts and find it. Now, the one little thing, if you wanted to make this one with that decorative circle, I did tweak my measurements a little bit after the last tutorial. So what I noticed with the two punches was that the decorative circle needed a little bit more on the top end to make it centered on the box. So if you are making this with a decorative circle punch using the measurements for this one, you might need to when you're doing the punch, you might need to not slide it in all the way. You might need to make yourself a pencil mark to center it a little bit better to fit these measurements. But for my measurements for this box, you can shove that punch when you're doing it, I'll show you in a moment, all the way in on both of them, and you'll get really beautiful results. So you won't have to do any tweaking of the where you put the punch. So this one, I feel like it has multiple steps, but I feel like it's doable for everyone. Okay, I have done a lot of intro. Oh, I should also say I do have a host code running, and this is my host code for the month. And if you spend $50 with me in the month, say you want to get some of the punches that I'm talking about today, then you will get a gift from me. And I'm going to pull it up here. This is the gift of the month. These are these fabulous iridescent pastel gems, and you could use these on the flower box today. I'm using the regular iridescent gems because I wanted to make sure that they would be available, but these ones, these lighter ones right here, would work really well on the flowers. So you earn in the current month in February, and I send them out in March. So if you want these, you just need to place a $50 order with me using this host code right here, R6MD2XX6. There's a place for you to put it in when you order, and then you'll get that gift from me. And you'll also get rewarded from Stampin' Up! If you're ordering until the end of February. For every $50 or $100 you spend, you get to choose a celebration reward from Stampin' Up! And after you reach that level, it's going to prompt you to choose your reward. And there were new rewards added on February 1st. So there's a bunch new stuff. If you haven't ordered in February at all, you have new products to choose from. Okay, we need to dive in because I'm showing you 2 box covers today. And this one has more pieces because we need bigger cardstock to create this project. It's a bigger box, and we need to use our 8.5 by 11 cardstock to create a double-walled box, and that is done doing more pieces of cardstock rather than on one piece of cardstock because our cardstock is not big enough for that. So I'm going to show you how I figured that all out. You will probably want to get this project sheet that I have, and it's going to be sent out on Saturday if you are on my email list. To get on my email list, you just need to look down below in the description of the video. There is a link for you to subscribe. Make sure you look for the email because it's a double authentication. It's a double authentication that you need to do. So you fill in the form, and then it sends you an email saying, please click here to let me know that you really want to subscribe to this email list. So you need to do that in order to get on my list. Once you're on, if you're already a subscriber, you will get these weekly project sheets. And so they're just really helpful. They go along with the video tutorial, and they have all the measurements in them as well. This time I have a diagram of all the pieces that comprise the box so that you can get a really good visual on what your pieces should look like after they're cut and scored, or scored and cut and cut. All right, I'm gonna pop over. I'm gonna remove that off the page. Okay, let me get everything popped up here. So let me show you the slider box. So the cool thing about the slider box, to keep the candy separate, it's sectioned off. So they're not going to slide and mix. So that's kind of the cool thing. Each one sits below like one of these little windows right here, okay? And then you just slide this back in. Now this box I created does have a double wall because I add an extra piece in there. Theoretically, you could just do the outer wall. I wrote down optional in the instructions, but I truly think you should probably get that double wall in there because your box is going to be a lot more sturdy with that double wall in there. You could also make it without the insert. If you want just colorful candy throughout, or if you want to just kind of pop the candy in sections in there and take your chances, you can absolutely do that. But I love the look of a section box because it looks more expensive. It looks, like you got the box at a candy store. I use kisses in my box because guess what? I could not get Easter candy this week. I checked my grocery store. I checked my local CVS store. They did not have the full covered Easter eggs yet. But this, if you're doing this for the Easter bunny, definitely use those eggs once they come out. I've been told they're going to come out probably just after Valentine's Day. You'll start seeing them on the shelves more, and some places have them, I'm sure already, but my local area does not. So use those full covered eggs and they will look great. Now, if you're doing this as a birthday one, of course, kisses would look really great in here. So just pick up some different colored full kisses, sort them out, and then you've got this beautiful box right here. Okay, I don't need to talk too much about this box because look, it is just a larger version of this one. So it is just the same, absolutely the same. Okay, let's put these aside and let's get started. Okay, this is the Easter Bunny bundle. This one will be available again in May. The Easter Bunny stamp set is available by itself right now. It is still in stock, but the punch is not. So you can't buy the bundle and you can't buy the punch alone right now. Then this is the Petal Park bundle. This one is available right now, and I used to decorate the other box. I used the Celebrating You. I used the Happy Easter out of there for my decorative circle punch box. I used the double oval punch for that little label on my box. And this one is the one that you're going to need to punch those windows instead of the Easter Bunny punch. And it is called the Decorative Circle Punch. All right, I think I've run through all the main supplies. And we'll get going on our project. I like to use the Simply Scored because really that is like the easiest way to score your pieces. And we're going to start off, let me pick my biggest piece to make sure I've got it right. We're going to make the box base first. And this piece measures 10.5 by 5 1/8. 10.5 by 5 1/8. Oops. All right. We're going to score this piece at the 1 inch mark on all 4 sides. 1 inch mark. 1 inch mark. 1 inch mark. And 1 inch mark. And while I'm here, I'm going to show you how to score the next piece as well so we can prep them both at the same time. Okay, so this is the first piece. We'll set it aside. Then I'm going to show you how to score. This is called the double wall insert piece. This is what is going to make it a double walled box. This piece measures, don't get scared, this piece measures 10 3/16 by 4 13/16. Okay, don't be scared of the 16th measurements. I'm going to help you out a little bit, and I have this written down in my measurements. So 10 3/16 is just in between the 10 1/8 inch mark and the 10 1/4. So just find the halfway point between those and cut between 10 1/8 and 10 1/4. Then the shorter side, 4 13/16, is right in between the 4 3/4 and 4 7/8 inch mark. These measurements will be in my project sheet. This piece we're going to score at the 7/8 inch mark, okay? Not the 1 inch mark, the 7/8 inch mark. So just remember that. Our Simply Scored board comes with these little score markers. So if you find yourself scoring at the wrong point, put in one of those little markers so that you know you're scoring at the right spot. Okay, so we'll set this aside for a moment. And we'll come back to our original piece. That's the first piece we scored. This is the box base. And if you get confused, have a look. The box base is the bigger of the two pieces, okay? So look for the bigger piece, and that's what we need to work on. I am going to use my, oops, I'm gonna put this here. Okay. I am gonna use my trimmer to make my cuts because it's just easier to cut this way than to use scissors. But if you're gonna use scissors, on the short side, cut up along the score line just to the first score intersection here. So you're going to cut here, 1, 2, turn to the opposite side on the short side and cut up 3, 4. So we're just cutting up to the first score intersection. I like to do this on my trimmer because I can line it up along that score line. My groove is right here, so easy to line up. And then I'm just gonna cut, and then I'm coming down to the bottom. You can't see me because, let me slide out. I'm actually almost all the way off my end here. I'm gonna lift this up, okay? And then I'm gonna cut down here at the bottom. So I'm just cutting these two pieces. Once you know how to do this on your trimmer, it's actually really quick to do it. So, and it's so straight, which is the thing that I love about using the trimmer for this, is that you just have to remember to lift up when you're moving your blade. So this is what it looks like. But you can use scissors as well. No worries, easy to do. Okay. We'll set this aside for a moment. And then we're going to angle cut these outsides. So angle cut just like this. It's going to help your box look good on the bottom. Angle cut the other one. You're going to mimic the same thing on all 4 corners. And so you get a piece that looks like this. Okay. Let's glue this piece together and then we'll work on the insert piece. So you want to fold this along the score line. I'm burnishing this with my bone folder because this helps those corners really become really crisp. And let's just do this last one. All right. So this is going to come together like this to form our box base. So I'm just going to flip this over for a moment because I'm going to put adhesive on this side. And I like to live dangerously and put adhesive on all 4 corners at the same time. And then just be very careful not to get glue all over you. So I'll just bring in that first corner, slide it together, and just hold it for a second, especially at that top corner. You want to make sure that's adhered well. Make sure bring that corner together really nicely, like that edge with that score line, just line it up like that. Just take a moment to like really get it so it's lined up nicely, because you're gonna have a better product and it's gonna slide a lot better. If you are kind of coming out on an angle a bit, then it's not gonna fit the slider cover quite as nicely. It's going to scrunch a little bit. So just make sure you line it up nice on the edge. Just take a moment to press it in. Working my way around all of sides. Okay. And then the last one. Okay, and just press those walls in. Okay, so this is the box, and like I said, as it is, it's you could use this and not do the double wall insert, but if you want your box to have more strength and look a little bit more professional, you can add this double, or what I call the double wall insert. So this piece, what you need to do is you need to cut away the 4 corner squares. I also like to do this on my trimmer, but I'm going to actually do it with scissors today, just because I can either way. So just that piece we scored earlier, just cut away the 4 corners on this piece. And hopefully I got all the measurements right. Sometimes I get them wrong because I'm in a hurry to cut things. Like this morning, I was in a hurry. It was crazy. All right. So you're going to fold this along the score line. So if you're making this piece and you're worried about the measurements, you want to, before you glue this inside of your box, you're going to test it to make sure it fits, right? You don't want glue on your piece and then go, it's not going to fit. So let's test this out. Make sure it fits. Yeah, look, it fits nicely. Okay, so I'm going to pull this back out. And I'm going to put glue down in the bottom and on my sides. Not all the way to the top, because this insert's going to sit slightly below the edge. I'm going to show you what it's supposed to look like so you don't think it's a mistake. Okay, so I put glue on the bottom and all the 4 sides, and now I'm going to slide this in and press this to the bottom first. Okay, get it settled. Make sure it's at the bottom, and then you're going to come in on all 4 sides and just do this and press it down. This is where having a bone folder is really handy. You can use that slanted edge of the bone folder and just slide it in. Okay. All right, so you're going to see that the box edge, you can kind of see I've got a shadow in my, the sunshine is really bright this morning here. I'm going to see if I can get it in. I've got sunlight on my project, but you can see the inner box sits down just a little bit below of the outer box. But now this box is like a little bit more sturdy because it's got those double walls. It can be handled a little bit better. Okay, so let's move on to the insert piece. This is called the candy divider piece. Okay, candy divider. So this piece measures 10 3/4 inches by 3 inches. 10 3/4 by 3. Score at the 2 3/4 inch mark, the 3 3/8 inch mark, the 4 inch mark, 6 3/4 inch mark, 7 3/8 inch mark, and the 8 inch mark. It should look like this. Let's see if I can angle it. There we go. You can kind of see those score lines. It's 2 groupings of the 3 score lines. Oops. Put this down here. So we're going to score these So we're going to have 2 mountain folds in here. So let's create that mountain first. So you're going to go those 3, pick the middle one and make that one a mountain. And then go to the other 3, go to the center one and make that a mountain. Okay, so those are mountains and the other ones are valleys. So just create those into valley folds. And this one will also be a valley fold. So now I've got a mountain. You can see that's what a mountain is. The mountain and the 2 valleys. And then we'll create this valley and valley. And then we've got a piece like this. All right, bring our box back in. And then you just insert this in here. Now, until you have the candy in here, it might pop up a little bit. You are welcome to glue this into your box if you want to. I chose not to because the candy will weight it down. So then you just will take your kisses. You'll get varying colors, kisses, foil wrapped Easter eggs. Anything that's wrapped will fit really. Actually, I'm going to do the other color in here. I ran out of pink kisses. I happen to have some spring colored kisses left over from another year. And thankfully, because, you know, I couldn't find all the colors that I needed right now, because it's a good reminder for me to pick up some colored kisses so I can work ahead for the holidays. Okay, so just imagine how beautiful that will look with foil Easter eggs. I think that will just look phenomenal if you're doing the Easter Bunny one, or if you are doing the decorative circle punch as an Easter option. Okay, so we've got the box base all set. Now I need to show you how to make both of those covers. So we're gonna score 2 pieces because I'm gonna show you how to make both covers. All right, so they are the same measurement. They are 9 inches by 8.5, 9 by 8.5. So make sure when you're scoring that your 9-inch side is up at the top. They're both very similar. It almost looks like a square. So make sure that 9-inch side is up at the top. Otherwise, your scoring won't work out. Okay, we're going to score this one. 1 1/8, 4 1/4, 5 3/8. Wait, yes, 5 3/8. I'm questioning my scoring, but it's right. I double checked this morning, and 8.5. I just had a. So let's go through those again. 1 1/8, 4 1/4, 5 3/8, and 8.5. Let's do that one more time on our other piece. Let's double check. Okay, see, this one's 8.5. We want the 9-inch side up at the top. 9 inches here, and then 8.5 this way. Okay, so again, 1 1/8, 4 1/4, 5 3/8, and 8.5. Okay, we've got both our covers ready to roll. So we're going to punch first. So you're going to take, let me show you what this looks like. Okay. Look at your piece carefully. There's a skinny end. This skinny end is what needs to get folded over first. We're just going to fold over the skinny end. Use your bone folder to help you press that down so it's as flat as you can get it, okay? So we need this folded over in order to do our punches. If you don't fold this over, then you're not going to get your punch centered in the right spot. Let's do the Easter Bunny punch first, okay? So we're going to start off on the left side. You're going to line this up. This is the folded over side. want to show you. Okay, fold it over side. You want to be on this side so you can see where you're punching. Line up the edge of the cardstock with the edge of the punch. Make sure your bunny punches all the way in. Remember, this needs to be folded over though, because if it's not, it won't be in the right place, okay? This has to be folded over. Give it a punch. And then you can just kind of come along here. You can line up the nose right here with the edge of the punch. Give it a punch. And then the nose once more. And give it a punch. So to decorate this piece, I'm just going to bring in my cover for that. To decorate this piece, you're going to stamp the grass down at the bottom. I did Granny Apple Green ink and that little grass stamp, and I stamped it all along the bottom. If you want to see how I did that, go back to the video a week ago where I did all the stamping for the smaller box. I did it in the same way. You're just going to do more stamping because this is a longer piece. The butterflies, the Happy Easter, all the same as I did last week. The ribbon the same, the tag the same. So basically, you want to do all your stamping first, then attach the window sheet, and then fold this together and bring this together, okay? You should do your stamping before you attach your window sheet and before you assemble the box, okay? Always the process is stamp, put the window sheet on, glue it on, and then you're going to bring the box together and finish it. It's hard to put the window sheet on once you bring this together. So just remember that. Ask me how I know. The first box I did in this series, I put it together and had to figure out how to get that window sheet in there so I didn't have to make a new cover. So that is the order. Now we're going to take a look at how to make this other one. I'm actually going to show you how to stamp this one since this is the new version. Okay, put the bunny punch away. We're going to fold along the score line again. These boxes are made in that same way. Okay, so we've got that skinny end. The skinny end is what needs to be folded over before we punch. We're going to take the decorative circle punch. I'm going to do this just a little differently than I did with the bunny punch, but it's kind of the same. So we're going to take this in. We'll just come in, line this up with the edge approximately. I just got a little tiny peak of the white cardstock on the edge right there. And just remember, you need this piece folded over before you punch, okay? Because otherwise it will not be centered on your piece. So punch is all the way in. I'm going to go ahead and punch that. Okay. Then I'm going to come over to the other side. I'm going to do the two, I'm going to do the two sides first, and then we're going to come in and do the center. Okay. So then the center one, you're just going to come in, and now it's really easy. Look, make sure you have the same distance on either side. It kind of just fits the punch perfectly, either side. All right. Okay. So you notice it even took a little divot out of here, but you're not going to see that once this is the glued tab at the end. You're not going to see that at the end. So I decided, because the circle can go either way, it's symmetrical versus the Easter Bunny. With the Easter Bunny, you have to stamp the grass down on this end, and this is where the glue tab end has to go. But for this one, I'm going to flip this around because I'm going to do some stamping, and I actually want the leaves of the stamp to come down on here. If I do it on this side, this is going to be covered up. So the skinny tab end is going to be covered up. So if I want the leaves to come down, I'm turning my piece so that it comes down like that. You don't have that option with the Easter Bunny one, but I can do it with this one. To protect your surface, get some scrap piece of paper and throw it under those holes, okay? And we're going to take this stamp from the Petal Park stamp set. This is the one that goes with that flower punch. It's called Petal Park. And this one is a two-step stamp. So we're going to stamp the outline first. And I'm going to find my stamp set, my ink pad. This one is Granny Green. This over here. Ink this up in Granny Green. I know I've told you before, I love, love, love two-step stamping. Okay, so I'm just going to position this so that some of the greenery peeks out at the top and some of it peeks out at the bottom of my hole. I'm actually standing when I'm stamping so you can see what that looks like. Okay, and then I'm going to do that for all three holes. This is just going to add a little interest. Okay, I'm going to put this one. And then we'll do this last one like this. All right, so now I can put parakeet, Granny Apple Green. That was Granny Apple Green. And now I'm going to come in with Parakeet Party. It's going to be a nice light and bright green color. And I'm just going to line this up over top of my leaves. Once it looks good, I'll stamp down. Just a fast way to add color without having to color. It's just nice. Okay. And one more time. All right, look at that. Isn't that fun? How to add a little pop of color onto your cardstock. All right, I think I'm done all the stamping on this piece. So we can let's fold this along the score lines first. And you know what? I forgot to cut myself a piece of window sheet, so I'll have to do that. Grab my window sheet from across the room. But first, what we're going to do, let me grab that window sheet first. Window sheet is so lovely because you cannot see it on camera to save your life. But you can kind of see it wiggling around in here. It comes in 12 by 12. Our Stampin' Up! Window sheet is a nice weight. It looks really nice on our projects because it's not too floppy. I love the weight of our window sheet. So I'm just going to cut this at the 3-inch mark. Oops, 3-inch. And then I need to move this over and cut this at the 8.5-inch mark. That is, put my phone on silent mode. Oh, still chirping. Sorry. That's my son texting me this morning. He's on Pacific Standard Time. He probably just is getting up and going to work. So window sheet needs to be 3 inches by 8.5. And if you just do it just a tad bit shorter than 8.5, that's good. If your cardstock is just a little bit off, then it's going to be fit a little better. If it hangs over, you can always cut it off though. So if you just cut it about to 3 by 8.5, you'll be good. 3 by 8.5. Okay, so we have this piece, and you can just test it out. Make sure it fits on the back of your window, on the back of your piece. Okay, that looks like a good fit. So we're going to take Tombow, and we're going to paint around with the Tombow, not all the way to the edge, but just around each circle. And we're going to set this aside and let it dry, okay? Because if you let it dry, it's going to not ooze out onto your windows, and it's going to still be sticky, okay? So just set it aside for a moment. Put your window sheet in a spot where you can see it. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for that. And in the meantime, we're going to do some preparations for the front of our box. Okay, so I'm going to take these flowers. First, we're going to take, this is fresh freesia cardstock. Clean off the stamp here. And this is our punch right here. So I'm going to lay this down here. And when you are stamping for this piece, you want to see, okay, I want to have my flowers oriented the same way as the punch so that it's easy to punch, okay? So you don't have to cut anything off. And I'm going to stamp this in, or ink this up in Gorgeous Grape. And I'll just put this down here, stamp that down here. Doesn't that look pretty? No coloring on this. Although I guess, look, if you didn't want to color, you could use this stamp. But I'm cheating. I'm just using the cardstock. But I suppose I could have done it on white and then done just 2 different colors of ink as well with the outline and the inside, because this is a 2-step stamp. Okay, for this punch, it's got a lot of detail on it. I recommend punching right on the countertop, not holding it in the air. So get it positioned, clamp it down, and then press it right down on your surface, and you'll be really happy when you do it on the work surface rather than up in the air. It's the easiest way to use our punches. Okay, move to the next color. I've got polished pink. Clean off my stamp so there's no more purple ink on there. Open up the polished pink ink pad, and we're going to come in and again just orient your stamp to the edge of the cardstock so it lines up in the same way as the punch. Put this aside. I'm going to slide this in. It's always good to cut yourself a little bit bigger piece. That way you have a handle to hold this. You can also use a Post-it note if your piece is ever too small. I'll show you. Okay, you cut yourself a small piece. Now it's hard to position it. Oh no. Just use a Post-it note. Okay, and then that will become your grabber. I'm sure you've seen that trick before, but I wanted to show it to you if you didn't know how to do that. Okay, position it and then give it a punch. I purposefully made that hard for myself. The lengths I go to. Okay, so now we can kind of manipulate these guys a little bit. I'm going to use my stylus tool from my Simply Scored and a foam mat. I'm going to press down on all the little petals on the back side and then kind of press down on the center. It kind of molds the flower a little bit. You could also use your bone folder. Different ways to mold flowers. You can kind of do this, but I kind of like doing that. You can press down on each petal and it kind of gives it a little bit of texture. Okay, and then you come in with your glue, put a little on the center, and these layer up so nicely. So I'm using the large and medium flower to layer up those two. We'll do that again. Just press on each petal with the big ball of your stylus tool. Just do a little circle and then press down in the center. Use the medium flower, do the same thing. Press down. And the flowers look so pretty. Look at them. I love them. Okay, and then we're going to add some of these iridescent rhinestone basic jewels to our project. So we'll use the medium. There's 3 sizes. We'll use the medium ones on the centers. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to mold these babies as well. These are the smallest flowers. Oh, see the Post-it note on the back of that one? Okay. Molding on the wrong side. We'll fix that. All right, and then we'll take the smallest jewels and put a small jewel in the center of those. Look how pretty those are. Oh, I don't know. Flowers make me happy, especially this time of year because we don't have flowers out there. Okay, so those are ready to go. Let me dump them onto my piece and we can get rid of this big foam mat. Then we're going to take the Happy Easter stamp from the Celebrating You stamp set. And actually I'm going to use Granny Apple Green ink. Where are you? Granny Apple Green. And we'll kind of just stamp that in the center. I'm going to punch this out. And then, okay, I have some scrap pieces of cardstock that I was actually doing the cover in a different color and I decided to go with white. So let me, oops, where's my Post-it note I just had? See? Post-it note reach. Scrap piece of cardstock. You do not need to punch this out of this a color cardstock. A scrap piece of cardstock of any kind will do. I'm just using a scrap piece of Granny Apple Green to create my other oval piece. Okay, and we're going to glue this together. So we have all the pieces. All right, let's move some things out of the way so that we can finish assembling the final box here. things out of the way. Okay. All right. I'm putting these off to the side just for a moment, and we're going to bring in our slider box cover. I've got my window sheet here, and I don't know if you can see this very well, maybe a little bit. Hold it in the light. You can kind of see a little bit of the glue around the edges of the circles. That is now dry, but it's still sticky. So I can just add my window sheet now to right behind those holes. And there will be no oozing of glue because it's dry. That's what I love about Tombow. It is so reliable to hold projects together. I love the formulation, and it is relatively expensive adhesive to use. You can use it on cards, 3D. I love it. Okay, we are going to bring this together. So this tab right here, that's where you put the glue, not on the bigger piece, the skinny tab. So I'm going to put glue on here, paint it on. Don't go too heavy-handed because you don't want it oozing out. Mine was a very light stream. My bottle of glue is getting close to the end. Okay, it's a very thin stream. So then I'm just going to fold this over, the bigger onto the smaller, like this. Then use your bone folder, press down. If you do it flat like this, you're going to get the perfect placement. Okay. So remember that seam is going to be at the back now. Okay, because you want all your pieces to, like the Happy Easter needs to go the correct way because you want to see those leaves coming down here at the bottom, right, like that. Okay. Bring in my box, which accidentally tipped over because I was stacking stuff. Moment of truth. It fits. Yay, look at that. Lovely, huh? Okay, so now we're going to come in. I'm going to use some dimensionals to add the flowers to the piece. Here's one that I think got peeled off accidentally, so let me just use that one. You can use mini dimensionals or large dimensionals, regular dimensionals. And it's nice to use a dimensional because it lifts it up a little bit from the blocks. And I'm just going to stick that right on the center. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And then we'll use another dimensional for this one. And I didn't have any more of the pink kisses, so just pretend those are pink kisses behind there. I like to use kind of the same color cardstock as the chocolate I'm putting behind there, but you can also mix and match. It's not, 100% science, but on my original box, I had the pink behind the pink. Okay. And then this one, I got some, we'll just put 2 dimensionals on the back. We'll center this up in the window. Okay. And then we can just add a little bit of glue to here, a little bit of glue to here, just to finish that off. And then you can just use, I like this glittered This is called Glittered Organdy. And I love this ribbon because it blends in nicely. And if you are using other colors of boxes, different colors of flowers, it doesn't matter because this is neutral. So you can buy a roll of this and it will work for whatever spring box you're going to make. Just bring this together a little bit. Got my locking tweezers here. I'll just tie a bow. Or you can tie a knot. Either one will work. Kind of get it going. And then we're going to cinch it. Tying a bow on a box. Just need to back and forth it a little bit. It really helps to have that tweezer in place so you can play with it a bit until it tightens up. Right, we'll put that away now. Okay, so I've kind of gotten it to the point where I kind of like it. And then I'll grab my ribbon scissors, just cut it for now. I'm gonna bring this end through the loop so they both kind of come up on either side. Okay, push up the bow a little bit and you can just give it a little angle cut. Okay, and there you go. It's a really pretty Easter box. It's wonderful. I'm going to show you this one because this one has the other colored kisses in it, the pink behind the pink, right? And there is the slider with all the little divider pieces. Let me bring in the Easter Bunny one. If you were lucky enough to get your Easter Bunny bundle before it's sold out, then you can make the Easter Bunny version as well. Remember all of the tips on how to do the stamping for the bunny and the coloring. That will be on the video I did for this little box right here. So go back and refer to that because I would just be duplicating at this point. So I don't really need to do that again for you. You can just figure it out from that other video. But the measurements for like all the pieces of the boxes, they are the same whether you use the decorative circle punch or whether you use the Easter Bunny one. So both of them will work really nicely. And I love how these little flowers turned out. Put happy birthday there instead, and you can turn this into a beautiful birthday gift for someone. Okay, I think I've told you everything I need to tell you about how to make that box. Don't forget about my host code. If you've written down some supplies that you need, I have a complete supply list down below in the description of this video and over on my blog. The description down below with the supplies is a list, but if you go over to my blog, you can see little pictures of all the items. It makes it a little easier to see, oh, okay, I think I want that, and you can click on it, and clicking on it will bring you over to the store, and then you can either add it to your cart or not, and that way you can get all the supplies you need. Do not forget to pick up window sheets because you need something to hold those candies inside. Window sheets are one of the things that you may overlook because, and I've done this before, I even forget to put it on my supply list sometimes. It is the unseen supply for this project. Also, remember, for every $50 or $100 you spend, you're going to get rewarded from Stampin' Up. And if you spend at least $50 with me using the host code up on my page right now, up on my video, you will get my gift of the month as well. The best deal right now is still getting the starter kit. And the basic starter kit right now, it's $99, and you get to choose $175 worth of product to put in your starter kit. And that is until the end of February. And that deal, normally you get $125 worth of product on any normal day when there isn't a special. The starter kit is $99 and you get to pick $125. Well, right now you get to pick $175 worth of product. So it is the best deal always, because after that you're going to get a discount on your products. If you want an even better deal, if you're thinking of getting the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I call it the Mini Boss, you can up your starter kit price to $129. I'm blanking. Let me check. I just want to make sure I get the right price for you here. Yes, $129. Didn't want to give you the wrong number. $129. If you bump it up, then you can get the Mini Boss and the $175 worth of product. So this machine is worth $63. So basically, you're getting this machine for half off if you get the $129 starter kit. So you've got two to choose from, one with the Mini Boss and one without. Super deal right now. If you don't like this boho blue color, you can also choose the regular white color. This boho blue is a limited edition color of the Mini Boss right now. For more information about the starter kit, you get to join my team too, which is awesome, because you get more of me if you want more of me. You get team stamping nights and team meetings and a Facebook page. I interact more because with my team I do have to interact more. You can check this out, cubiesquest.com/join. And that is the way. It has a Q&A on there. And if you need to contact me, there's a way to contact me. Ask me any questions you want about the starter kit. I'm always happy to answer them. And one of the questions I get the most about the starter kit is, do I have to do classes, and do I have to sell? No, you do not. You can be your very own best customer and just get the discount for you. Many of my team are hobbyists, and they just enjoy getting the discount. They enjoy the insider access to Stampin' Up. They enjoy getting those opportunities to pre-order before everyone else. They enjoy getting the news. They enjoy being on the Facebook group that Stampin' Up offers just for demonstrators. So there's a lot of perks to being a demonstrator and being connected a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to go in and answer all of your questions. Say hello to all of you. I'm so glad you're joining me this morning. It's so nice to see you here. Good morning, Terry. Terry was here earlier. I'm sorry for my lateness. If you're ever on in the morning and you see I have a time for listed as 10 a.m., I will do my best to get on as close to 10 a.m. I just realized when I scheduled I had a little bit too much to clear off, so I'm sorry for my lateness this morning. I do try and be on at 10 a.m. I had a little bit of a rough week this week, I had to take that day off. I was just not feeling well enough to work, so that put me a day behind. I will go live usually just a little bit after the time I scheduled. Good morning, Donna from Canada. Good morning, Ellie. Good morning, Marina. Marina is visiting us all the way from Algeria. I think that is just absolutely so cool to see someone from Africa here. I have followers all around the world, but they don't always show up on my lives, and I just love that. So good morning, Marina. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, Birgit from Germany. We're covering all of our continents this morning. That's awesome. Um, Good morning, Vera Blue from Tennessee. Marty says she loves my turtleneck. Well, thank you. I actually picked it today because it's got pinks and purples in it, and I thought it would look good with my Easter candy. I'm not always that good. Nancy says she's glad I didn't have COVID. Oh yeah, I tested right away because I was like, oh, I'm going down fast. But I think honestly, my husband didn't get this, but we were at two open houses on the weekend, and I went to the post office, but I think it was most likely open houses. And I did wear a mask actually, but I've been a little stressed lately this last week, and I have had a couple of nights where I didn't sleep very well. And I think just combined, like I feel like my immune system was a little bit weak, but I'm fortunate. I generally am very healthy. I eat really healthy and I exercise. I'm a huge walker. I walk a lot. And even on the day that I was sick, I went downstairs in the basement. We've got a big unfinished basement downstairs. And I put on my down jacket because it's a little cold down there. And I just walked some laps rather than being on the treadmill. I actually, just on the off chance that I could be contagious, I did wear a mask in the main part of the house because I didn't want to get my husband sick in case that's the way it was going to spread. And I just walked downstairs just for a little bit because my body's so used to walking. Like I walk every single day, twice a day. And if I don't walk, my body feels really off. So even just slowly walking on the day that I felt sick helped me bounce back. So by the next day, I was feeling a little bit better. And today I'm feeling even better. So it helps. But I eat salads every single day for lunch, and I haven't had a salad for 2 days, which is so unusual for me. I had a whole day where I didn't eat anything. That's unusual for me. And then I had a whole day where I ate things like bananas and toast and so weird. I'm gonna see. I don't know if I can tolerate. I can't even think of a salad right now. Even though my stomach's not upset, it's not what my stomach feels like it needs. I don't know how your stomach can tell you what it needs, but anyway, there's that. So thankfully, I'm healthy, so I can bounce back quickly. But yeah, it took me down for a day. It took my stomach down. That part was not fun. All right. Good morning, Denise. Denise says, cute bunny box. Thank you for the alternative, and you're welcome. Good morning, Ramona. She says she loves the bunny punch. Good morning, Mary. Terry says, thank you for the templates. You're welcome. I try and put templates in my project sheets when possible. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Denise. Denise said about the 16th inch markings for that middle box. She says the 16th inch markings are on the trimmer. It might not be so intimidating for everyone. Yeah, the 16th inch marks are on the trimmer, but I think, and me included, until I became a paper crafter and I really paid attention, I think those 16th inch markings can be a little intimidating. And that's why I like to give the 1/8 inch measurements on either side, because if you've been paper crafting, even for a little bit, I think you get used to at least working in 1/8 of an inch, but not a lot of paper crafters go down into the 16th inch realm. I do sometimes, so I just like to kind of give a little hint. But the markings are on your trimmer. You can find the 16th inch mark, so just find the little mark between the two that I said, and it just helps you find the correct mark. Good morning, Tina. Tina says, a wonderful Easter candy box. Ramona says the Easter box is so stinking cute. Thank you. Nancy asks, could a 2.5-inch circle punch work if a person didn't have the punch you use? Well, I hate to answer that question blankly because, first of all, I don't know what company of punch you have. And our circle punches are all retired right now. So what I suggest is get it out, give it a whirl, and see how it looks. And, at worst, try it with computer paper, and that way you're just using, or some scrap cardstock that, is not your favorite cardstock, and give it a whirl and try it out and see how it looks. Just use the same measurements, and you might find that it works perfectly well, but I just can't tell you because it is a retired product. Ellie says she loves how I made the flowers 3D. Denise says, thank you for all the tips. Ramona says she loves the flowers. Ellie said, gentle reminder to the audience to give this a thumbs up. Ellie, thank you. I'd love it if you gave me a thumbs up. That would be awesome. And if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe. That really helps me. It helps other people find me if they're interested in me. So thank you so much. Sue liked my tip on waiting for the glue to dry on my box before I put on the window sheet. Yeah, it really helps. Marty said, could you use Tombow on the back of the flowers, let it dry, and then stick the flowers to the acetate? Yeah, you could do that. Absolutely. I like the dimension of using the dimensionals. It just lifts it up just a tiny bit off. You can kind of see it just lifts it off just a little bit, and that makes it pop off of the box just a little bit more. So I really do like the dimensionals, and dimensionals really do stick well. So they really do hold your things on there well. So I totally recommend using dimensionals as well. Okay. Mary says, cute box. Thank you. Ellie said, such a professional looking gift. Thank you. Is it regular weight white stock or heavyweight? I use the heavyweight. You could experiment using regular cardstock as well, or the colored cardstock. But I did, personally, I did use the thick basic white because it just gives it a little bit more strength. Marty asked if we can color that organdy ribbon. I've got a scrap piece right here. I think I've tried this before. I don't know how well it colors. I will try for you. Let's see what color. I think I would go with, the only problem with coloring this is it does have little glittery flakes in it. So you might run into a little problem with that. Let's choose a dark color. What color would we choose? Well, let's try a light color first. This is dark fresh freesia. So we need to let this dry for just a second. So yeah, you can get like a little bit more of a color on here. That was a fairly light color. I'm trying to think what other, let's do like a dark polished pink and check that out. Okay, so you know what? I've never colored this before. So yeah, you could get like a little darker look. Let's turn this over. So it's not going to be like super dark because there is a lot of open weave in this ribbon, but you can darken it up a little bit if that light color is too light for you. The nice thing about this ribbon on these boxes is that you can, change your colors out really easily and not worry that the ribbon is going to be the wrong color. So yeah, you can add a little color to there if you would like to. And that's cool because on this box in particular, you've got the purples going on. You can also, if you've already tied your bow, at least on this box, you could slide it off and dye it and then put it back on the box again. So with this one, it'd be a little harder, but you could kind of lift it over the flower maybe and get it off and then slide it back on. You could probably do that. That's a good question, Marty. Good morning, Laura. She said, I love it. I just had an idea doing a box with two bunnies facing each other. Yeah. Okay, so if you were going to do two bunnies facing each other, you would have to, flip the punch around, right? So you'd be, where's my bunny punch? We're going to do this right now. We're going to do a little. So this isn't accurate to size or anything. I just have a scrap piece. So you would go in all the way on one side. And then you would flip this around. And if it's easier to see on the other side, so you would flip this around and do this. That's so cute. Laura, why weren't you here last week? And I could have figured that out and done one. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I love that idea, Laura. Shoot, now do I need to do a two bunny version or a box with only two spaces in it? No. That would be really fun though, right? That is really cute. Just love that idea. Well, I will think about that and maybe think about doing a box like that. Let me know if you want the two, the bunnies facing each other version, and that will also work for the other version as well, because you could interchange them both. So let me know if you want that. Marty says the green kisses look nice too. Thank you. Teresa said, beautiful box, Brenda, as always. Such a lovely gift. Marty says her Easter bunny bundle is supposed to arrive today. I am so glad you got the bundle. I hope you listened to my warnings. I felt a little bad. I've talked about this on another video. I felt a little bad about warning people when I wasn't 100% sure, but I just had this feeling that we already had two punches that weren't available, and I felt like the Easter bunny bundle, even though Easter is not until April, I just felt like it was going to be the next to go. And so I just started warning people about 2 weeks ago that it was going to probably sell out next. And I'm glad I did, because a bunch of you did jump in there and get it. And at least I felt like I warned everyone about that. So that's great. Tina says, beautiful bunny box. Thank you. Sue said, I'm so creative. Well, thank you for that compliment. Ramona said, cute, cute, cute. I love it. Bear Blue said, beautiful box. I'm making multiples of this box for some special occasions coming up in my family. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your wonderful gift box ideas. This one is a wow. Aw, thank you. Nardi says that blue is beautiful. I don't know what blue you're talking about. I've lost my train of thought. So, well, thank you. Marty said, oh, the blue, boho blue mini boss. And this is going to be one of the new colors coming up in the future too. So that's a sneak peek of a new color coming up in the new annual catalog. Marty said, Brenda's team is wonderful. Everyone is so kind, is so friendly and welcoming. Thank you, Marty. And you are a wonderful team member. I'm so glad you're part of my team. Ramona said, great video. Marina said she's so glad she could join me live. And I'm so glad you joined me live too. That's so awesome to have you here. Good morning, Karen. She couldn't find me, so I'm just going to watch the replay. Well, I'm glad it always lives on YouTube. Marina said, the U.S. is great for chocolates and candies. We do not have the variety you can enjoy. So, yeah, I do not know what's available where you're at. So you just have to figure out something that maybe will work. Sometimes certain countries have a lot of hard candy. Something in a pretty wrapper, or it could be loose candy as well too. If you have loose candy and you want to secure it a little bit better, you can get like little cellophane bags to like put them in, so that they're not completely loose and open to the elements and to bugs or anything like that, or use something that is, I don't know, jelly beans. I don't know what's available, but you're gonna have to like rack your brain and go. What I do, this is literally what I do when I'm designing things. I go to the grocery store and I stand at the candy aisle and I look at all of the candy and I'm like, okay, what could I make with this? And then so if you have a box, then you're just going to stand there and say, hey, what can I put in this box that might work? And that's literally what I do all the time. And I think people must think I have a real, I'm like staring at the candy like, oh my gosh, she must be like a real sugar addict, just standing there looking at the candy, gazing at it for so long. It's actually kind of humorous. All right. Let me see. Jean said she forgot it was Friday. Well, I'm glad you made it at the very end, and thankfully this will be available as a replay. Marty says, thanks for trying to color the ribbon. Good to know. Nancy says she loves the two bunny idea. Uh-oh, I think I have another video coming. Let me know if you want a two bunny option, a two window option. We could always do that. Then you could put a heart between the two bunnies. That would be cute too. Yeah, you could put a little heart, not a window heart, but just a little heart in between. That would look really cute. Buddies facing would be a great box, plus another size box. Okay. Ramona says, yes, two bunny version is awesome. Would love to see it. Birgit would love to see the two bunnies too. She says, thank you very much for those beautiful boxes. And Ramona says, hope you have a blessed day, Brenda. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a fabulous day as well. Don't forget, I go live 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays on Facebook on my business page, and at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. And Eastern Standard Time, if you're in other parts of the world, it's the same as New York. So if you plug in New York, that is the same as Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Boston, but we're also on the same time zone as New York. Hello, Jen. I hope you'll watch the replay because we're almost at the very end. So I'm wishing you all a great weekend, and I hope to see you again on here soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.